Knockout and Listen Out. They mark the start of the music festival season.
We are going in there and we're getting rowdy.
But just one weekend in and already tragedy. Two young men in their 20s collapsing in separate incidents, both later dying in hospital.
At this stage, are they being treated as suspected drug deaths?
It's part of the investigation. Obviously, there was drugs seized from the festival. We look at all avenues.
From a combined 80,000-odd crowd, more than 70 festival goers have been charged with drug offences.
This shows that people can die at music festivals. Drugs can have some horrible consequences.
With these fatalities, renewed calls for on-site pill testing. Over the past 2 decades, deaths from unintentional drug overdoses have risen by more than 70% in Australia. Pill testing allows festival goers to find out what's in their drugs before they take them.
A lot of times people think they're buying ecstasy, for instance, and it's unfortunately not the case in most analytics we run. So people are consuming methamphetamine, a whole range of other substances, some chemicals we find we've never seen before.
Countries in Europe have been pill testing for more than 2 decades, and advocates say it can save lives.
What we find is that in 20% of the cases where people are told there's a toxic substance, they'll discard the drug. They won't consume it.
Both Queensland and the ACT do provide mobile and fixed pill testing sites, but political opposition remains widespread. In 2019, a coroner recommended pill testing be conducted in New South Wales, but it was rejected. Now the government wants to hold a drug summit before it commits to any reform.
I know they want me to change our policy today, but I'm not going to do that. The truth is that there's no safe quantity to take of these illegal substances.
Premier Minns needs to seriously sit down with the experts, which he is not one of, and listen to what they have to say.
4 years ago, Jen lost her daughter Alex after she consumed almost 3 doses of MDMA before attending the FOMO festival.
The drugs that Alex took, as far as we're aware, were not compromised. However, I believe if the testing facilities were available to her, she would have used those facilities to actually gain knowledge of what and how she can better safely take those drugs.
So as this debate over drug testing continues to rage, is it time Australia tests its pills?
I think they've made their mind up they're going to take the drug. So who do you want them to talk to? The guy they bought the drug off or our team?
I guess politicians are concerned that if they say pill testing should be a thing, the message they're sending to people is, see, bring your pills along, just get them tested. Like we're saying, oh, it's fine to take pills, and that's not actually the message. And it's so easy for kids to buy something, not even think about it. But if they were really faced with this is what you're about to do, you would certainly change the minds of a decent amount of people, potentially enough to save lives.
Well, it's about whether the policies are designed to deal with the world that the politicians want it to be or the world that exists. And clearly young people are trying things, experimenting, and it's a question about whether the environment is one where if there's a problem or if they're not sure of something, they ask and speak to people with knowledge, or if they kind of keep it to themselves and deal with it individually or amongst their friends.
Well, the just say no clearly isn't working all the time, right? And more than just the pill testing, it puts them in front of teams who can actually have conversations with them about what they're taking, why they shouldn't be taking it. It might be the first time they've actually spoken about their drug use to anyone.
You got to, I suppose, just put yourself in the mind of the politician, right? They see a story like this. No one, we don't yet know the circumstances around these individuals that tragically have died this weekend. But you can imagine the politician thinking, hang on, if I create a system that does allow testing, this might still happen. And is it then on the politicians' shoulders that they've kind of created this environment that maybe looks like permission or support?
Yeah, it's a tough spot to be in.